This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Will Jewelry and Loan. When you need cash and you need it fast, check out Will Jewelry and Loan. Come on in with your jewelry, firearms, electronics, tools, lawn equipment, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, and even four-wheelers. They will beat any competitor's loan amount, and that's a fact. Will Jewelry and Loan guarantees faster and more cash for your loan than any other company in the area. They have your cash you need fast. Check them out today on their Facebook page or give them a call at 304-768-5101. Stop in and talk with them at 5523 McCorkle Avenue, Southwest, South Charleston, West Virginia. Will Jewelry and Loan, 304-768-5101. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of On the Limb podcast with Nature's Voice Game Calls. We've got co-host Dan Hall on the line, and we've got Dave Young in production.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
He's back in. I don't know what I said to get him back in here, but he's here.
You know,
I think we figured it out earlier before we started recording and everything. So I'm not going to say it on this, though.
I had withdrawal. That was the problem. I had withdrawal from you guys, man.
Was that what it was?
That's exactly what it was.
Like you just had withdrawal from spending time with us, or
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
I guess. Anyways, summer's in full swing and it's hotter than Hades here in West Virginia.
Oh my gosh, burning up, man. It's the humidity that kills you, man, around here.
Yeah, it is. Dan,
Bad news.
It's pretty bad out there where you're at, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty warm, that's for sure. Had a nice breeze today, though, so I couldn't complain.
Yeah. It's actually been getting nice in the evenings. You know, it's going down to about 74, 73, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Humidity's not bad, but still, it's hotter than crap. So I seen on Facebook the other day, they had a picture of the sun, and the state of West Virginia was the closest to the sun, and the earth was behind it. You know, a good ways away.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Well, the humidity was so bad today that at work, you know, the whole front of our building is like windows.
Yeah,
they were all soaked, man.
Was it really?
I mean, yeah,
just condensation.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah,
totally soaked.
Well, at least you know it stays cool inside.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yep. All righty. So, you know, we've got a lot of good things coming up on the schedule. Congrats to Paul Smith. He was awarded the 2024 James Beard Award, a prestigious award in the culinary arts industry. And, you know, it's kind of like an Oscar. That's how big of a thing it is.
It's huge.
So this is like a massive thing for the state of West Virginia that he was awarded this.
Absolutely.
So the award means that he is the best chef in the southeastern part of the U.S.
Yes. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But it's well-deserved. If you've never had any chef's food, it's amazing. I worked with him for around 9 years. Well,
wow.
Probably not the whole 9 years. He was there the first part of my tenure at UC. So he was there for probably about 4 years, 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. But all the food that was, you know, not all of it, but some of the food that's cooked at 1010, I'd already had.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of dignitaries and things that came to the University of Charleston, and he would always cook their stuff.
Nice.
He was the executive chef.
Yeah. So because he opened 1010, right? He was part.
1010 is his restaurant. He is also owner or part owner of the Pitch.
Yeah, amazing
and
food.
He's also part owner of Barcadas. I believe that's how you say it in Charleston.
Yeah, I have to check that out.
Yeah, I have not been to that one.
Okay.
But,
okay.
But yeah, we've got a live podcast coming up in the restaurant, in the 1010 restaurant, and
that's awesome.
We get to interview Chef Paul. So, you know,
well, me and you do. I doubt Dave will make it. You know how sketchy he is.
Yeah, yeah. I think he actually told me today
that day
that he said that, you know, I did look at that and I can't make it. I'm like,
Of course.
That was yesterday, but today's a new day.
Oh, that was yesterday. Sorry. But, we talk about all kinds of things here on the limb. We talk about hunting. We talk about fishing. Turkey and deers are our biggest things that we talk about, but, we include a bunch of different things. So we've got another episode, live podcast coming up in Huntington, West Virginia. Just got scheduled today with the Breathe Wine and Culture Company at their new location. And was in talking with Cabela's today. We're trying to get their fall extravaganza thing that they're going to have. So we're trying to get that worked out. And then the biggest thing we got coming up, Dan, why don't you tell them about that? It's happening in late October, earlier late October.
I don't know.
Really? This is like one of the biggest ones other than Chef Paul. Kind of involves a boat maybe, and we've been talking about new mics for it.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Refresh this guy's memory here. Did you have a stroke on me or something?
You know my memory's like a freaking
Yeah, you know what Dan used to do. Ruined his memory, what he used to do.
He likes mushrooms.
He like, what the? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, we're gonna be working on a trip down to the Carolina shores.
Yes.
With Coastal Carolina Charters.
Coastal
I think
Marsh.
that's what it was called.
Coastal Marsh.
What's that called? Hold on. I got a horrible memory.
Coastal Marsh.
He said it
Coastal
3 times.
Marsh,
yes.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina is the scuba diving company I looked at.
He's a little nervous. I put him on the spot.
Going scuba diving.
Yeah, I was. I never made it, but I did plan on going.
He wants to spearfish.
We just got too busy down there, man. It was crazy 2 weeks on vacation.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to be working on doing a live podcast on the boat while fishing with those guys.
Wow.
There you go.
You know
sounds
what?
awesome.
I would
They
love
probably
to
won't
see.
make that one either, though, so it doesn't matter.
I would love to see Dan. I would love to see Dan pulled overboard by a big grouper or something. That'd be great.
See, that's the thing, Dave. If you don't make that one, I can tell you who's going overboard.
I tell you what, I'd like to see it too because I'd jump in with him to save the fish.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Dan, you can't swim too bad.
Give me that rod.
Oh, good Lord. So those guys you hear chuckling there in the background, that's the TriplePoint Outdoors guys. So let's go ahead and introduce them without further ado. Please welcome with me, Josh Miller, Brian, I don't know how to say your last name, and Kevin Knight.
His last name's too long. You can't pronounce it.
Yeah, he caught me off guard there. I was like, Nightlinger.
It's Nightlinger.
Nightlinger. Okay. God,
Nice.
The K threw me off. I was like, Lord Jesus, here we go.
Man, I bet that was terrible in preschool trying to learn how to spell your last name there.
Okay, thank you.
It took a while.
Yeah, I bet.
No, we had a great
man.
time with these guys last week on their podcast, Reinvent the Hunt podcast, and they've got some great topics. So, Josh, if you want to go ahead and just start off talking about TriplePoint Outdoors and telling us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Josh Miller. I'm the owner of TriplePoint Outdoors. I have some 2 great guys in the podcast with me, Brian and also Kevin. We're a broadhead company. I went back. It's been about 18, 19 years now. Used to be a teacher in my past life. Background's mechanical engineering. Grew up on a farm in Killbuck, Ohio. And I just basically got really frustrated and tired of a lot of pre-deployment, a lot of issues with mechanical broadheads, not trusting on the animal or the buck you're hunting. I can't, from a hunter standpoint, I couldn't deal with, you're on the hunt of a lifetime, you're on the buck of a lifetime, and the last thing you need to worry about is your broadhead, right?
Yeah.
Pre-deploying. So I came up with the idea one time hunting the state forest of, how do we keep these blades in? How do we keep them, strong and dirty, durable, reusable, and fly perfectly every time? And so, it took 18 years to engineer this bad boy, but really excited now. We've had some phenomenal success with the broadhead worldwide, and it's taken everything down, including Cape Buffalo in South Africa, kudu, moose, black bear, of course, big whitetail. And the best thing is it's doing what it should be doing, which is it's functioning off of simplicity and absolute performance. It's a single bevel. So when it goes to the animal, it has a helical cut path. But, beyond the broadhead, I don't want to talk too much about the broadhead. We have a new fixed blade coming out. More than anything, guys, it's a camaraderie. It's brought me in the hunting industry just this real life kill butt kid from Ohio, Central Ohio, grew up on a 240 acre farm, and just the connections I made, the relationships I made worldwide, phenomenal culture, phenomenal people. I think the biggest thing I've learned is you go worldwide hunting, everyone's the same. Everyone does it because it's a passion, it's a love of the heart, and it's our culture, it's our human history. And so I've been fortunate. I feel fortunate to do what I do with TriplePoint because it's connected me to people like Brian and Kevin, which is phenomenal human beings that have their own platforms and their own companies to be able to bring hunting to real people and not be kind of not the down anybody in the industry, but like this manufactured type. I think we all know it, right?
Yeah.
When you see a hunt and you see something kind of looks weird, you're going, well, this is not real, and we're real. We're dads, we're fathers, husbands. We're family members, and we're real people that go through real things that deal with mental health, the family, how to be a dad, how to run a business, and just the struggles of life together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had taken a look there at your all's page after we had been on the podcast with you guys, because I'd always seen TriplePoint Outdoors tagged in Kevin's stuff and with Reinvent the Hunt podcast. But I didn't know that was you all that done that. So that's awesome. I seen the broadhead, man. That's a sick looking broadhead.
Well, thank you. We function off true performance and simplicity. A lot of guys are hunters. We're all hunters, and we don't want newfangled everything because we already have too many buttons in our trucks as it is. If you guys know what I'm saying. I don't know half the stuff my truck does anymore.
Yeah.
But when it comes to bow hunting, I want you to be able to pull out your arrow or your bolts. This broadhead goes in any arrow, any bolt up to 500 plus feet per second. It's speed proof. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I want you to be able to hunt. I want you to be able to focus on the animal. I don't want you to worry about the broadhead. It's going to take care of business in the front of the arrow. But then, like I said, more than that, we launched the Reinvent the Hunt podcast. I was on another platform, and we thought, we're all busy. It was inundating to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
And so we branched off. We did our own thing, and I asked Kevin and Brian to be on ours. And it has been unbelievable ever since. We're reaching a lot of people in a lot of different ways. We're able to have companies on and folks like you folks with other podcasts on. And it doesn't matter what it is. I want to talk about in the outdoors. If it relates to family, outdoors, hunting, mental health, game processing, hunting worldwide, and that stigma, and just like, if you haven't experienced it, then you don't know. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get out there and experience it, and then you can talk about it and really relate to people.
Yeah, for sure. Dan, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You said we needed the.
I couldn't hear you.
The salute. I was looking up one.
Oh no, you're good. Usually you're the one talking after everybody else is, so I couldn't hear you.
Is Dan alive?
Right. Getting back to it, since I was sidetracked trying to find us a daggum salute for this evening.
I can't have my GPS going.
If you don't care, tell us a little bit about the Reinvent the Hunt podcast.
And then I need to get my charger out of the truck so I can see it.
Josh is buying a new car for his daughter.
Listen, gentlemen, I have to apologize. I just had a side step there because my daughter is 15, so we're actually at the dealership finishing up the paperwork right now. And I knew this podcast was going to be on, but you know what? This is as real can get. So I am finishing the paperwork as I'm talking to you, gentlemen. I apologize.
That's what I said. I was like,
you're all good, man. I know you've been there probably like 6 hours. They take forever.
It's been rough, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I just want to do it with the Suburban.
Oh my Lord, getting older. I need a wheelchair, guys. I need someone to push me out of this bad boy because I've been in this dealership 6 hours now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh gosh,
man. That sucks. We know how that goes. It's It is what it is.
But one thing I want to do is miss being on with you guys because we had a blast last week, and I can't wait to. I think things are gonna get real here real fast. So I bet you guys have some great talking points tonight.
Yeah, we got some pretty decent ones. We're going to actually talk a little bit about y'all's podcast, Reinvent the Hunt.
Sure. Our podcast, it's been fun. It's been a blast to start. I know Brian and Kevin jump in here anytime, but like I said, it's organic and we grew dendritically spread out across the industry. People have come on like Big Shot Outdoors, their targets. We had SpyPoint Game Cam on, and we like to focus on not just the product, but the people behind the product and also just relationship. I think
exactly
more than anything, we all know, and Kevin's foundational with this, and so is Brian. This is not the Reinvent the Hunt podcast growing with TriplePoint. This is us all growing together, just reaching out there across the industry and forming relationships to grow.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sure. Networking is key to succeeding. Period.
You guys are pretty new with that podcast too, right? You've only had 17, 18 episodes now?
Yes, sir. Sir. Yeah, I think the previous podcast I was on, I think we had maybe 25, 30 in that neighborhood.
Nice. What was the previous one that you was on? Was you just
that was a podcast called The Bowman, which is still running.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen that. I've actually listened to some of theirs.
Great guys too.
Nice.
Well,
I mean, we're not experts by no means.
We learn this thing every day. Every time we do one, we're learning something new.
I mean, that's just, something that I like about it myself is just finding out the new things that we can do and still keep, like we were talking in our previous discussion on your all's podcast, keeping the hunting heritage alive with the technology that's not going to keep us down. You know what I mean?
Spot on.
Right.
Yeah, spot on. I think you can reach so many more people. It's like a double-edged sword, right? Because I know, like my grandfather, sometimes my dad, they get. There's a lot of words that come out of the mouth. I won't say them on here. You guys know what I'm talking about. But when we talk about technology in modern society, older guys tend to really hate it. But then the other thing is, like we talked about last week, some of these older guys love it because then they realize what they can do with it. So once you teach them and say, hey, listen to these podcasts. This is real. Maybe you can't get out in the woods anymore. Maybe you're not as mobile, but you can still have a relationship, and they just eat that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I think technology in general is a double-edged sword.
Yep, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we go to hunt, we go hunting and fishing and go in the outdoors to escape technology. But then again, we're using technology to do all of it as well.
Yeah.
Like Absolutely. With your game cameras and everything else.
Yep.
Well, some people go to the outdoors to escape, but I've seen a lot of these new style hunters just playing on their phone until they kill a deer.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. That burned me last year in a 185. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, did it?
I was in my phone. I had my nose in my phone. And I had him on camera about 3 weeks, and I had my nose in my phone, guys. And when I looked up, he was 12 yards away.
Oh man!
It happens to the best of us.
We've all been there.
We're all trying to run businesses and everything else with full-time jobs and sitting in a tree stand trying to escape. So it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. It'll get you.
It
is.
Yeah. Yep.
I knew better too.
He's
back this year.
Most of us.
That's just gonna let him get bigger this year.
I told him my excuse was. I told my wife, I'm like, I wouldn't let him get bigger, but boy, I was crying, boys.
That leads us into our mental health episode.
So, Kevin, we were just talking about this today on the phone, and I messaged one of the reps with Big Truck Farms and Brewery today, and she just got back to me a little bit ago. I said, how are we going to make this podcast live happen? Because we've been talking about it for a while. We just need to get it scheduled. And here I was, on lunch today. There was a ton of people trying to get things scheduled with me, and I'm like, I'm trying to reach out to other people that we've been talking to, and so Summer reached out to me today, and she said, "You just tell me when you guys want to come, and I'll make it happen." So that's definitely going to be a thing. And Dan, Kevin's going to be a part of that. And guys, nice. Brian, Josh, if you guys want to come with Kevin, that would be amazing to have you guys there as well. I mean, we could just come together and have another podcast while we're there. So
that'd be fantastic.
So what we done is we were here at the Bears Den in Charleston. They had a tap takeover with Big Truck Farms and Brewery, and they're based out of Parkton, Maryland. And they came here, done the tap takeover. Me and Dan went there, done a live podcast from there. And the lady that was sitting right beside me was the owner's wife, and she was telling me all about the brewery. And she was like, one of the founders of the brewery is also a founding member of Under Armour. And I'm like, oh, really?
Wow.
I was like, wow. I was like, small world. Because there's actually a ton of people that, because, we went to the Greenbrier. We got to meet up with Jason Hart, and he worked with Under Armour for a long time. He's worked with Nomad. He founded Nomad, founded Hook Fishing Apparel. And so they're really good friends with Jason. So she was like, we know the same people. And I'm like, yeah, this would be awesome. I was like, we get Jason to come down there, and while we're there, we do the live podcast from inside the brewery, and they just love the whole idea. So it's all about, like what you're saying, those connections that you can make in the relationships, because, that's what keeps this thing going.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So, Dan, you want to go ahead and hit the salute while Josh is buying a car there?
I'm good now. I'm in the car driving home, so I can talk now.
Oh, wow, he's good.
Yeah, that was quick.
I'm good now.
Good deal.
So tonight our salute to valor is actually going to go out to a staff sergeant that I had served with at 10th Mountain Division, Fort Drum.
Nice.
Yes, he was actually killed in action during Operation Iraqi Freedom, which is Staff Sergeant Tyler E. Pickett, and he was from. He wasn't from Wyoming. I know he moved to Wyoming. He was from Wisconsin and moved to Wyoming in his teenage years and grew up in Wyoming. But he was stationed at Fort Drum, New York. He was assigned to the 10th Mountain Division, Triple Deuce, and he was deployed to Iraq multiple times. I do believe he was also deployed to Afghanistan with the unit, and he was killed in action on June the 8th, 2008. So this just, honor him and remember the fallen during this time and thank him for his service and his ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that paid that ultimate price, and we are so very thankful for his service and the sacrifice that he made. And, Godspeed with his family and prayers for them going through the rest of their lives. All right, guys, so we're going to take a quick break and hear an ad for one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back with TriplePoint Outdoors and Reinvent the Hunt podcast. This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Longspur Tracking and Outfitting. Longspur has 28 trackers covering 9 states: West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Illinois, and Iowa. Check them out for all your tracking needs on their Facebook page or visit them at www.whitetaildeertracking.com or contact them today at 304-439-1659. Longspur Tracking and Outfitting, www.whitetaildeertracking.com or 304-439-1659. Contact them today. All right, guys, we're back with TriplePoint Outdoors and Reinvent the Hunt podcast, guys. So we're live streaming right now on Facebook on about 14 of our cross-posted channels, and I'm sure that TriplePoint Outdoors has shared it as well. I've shared it, and it's on our On the Limb podcast page there. So be sure to share it afterwards, and this episode will air not next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And it will be live again on all the major networks so you can hear it again. So that way you can listen at your own pace. Some people like the lives, some people like watching it right when it happens, and some people just don't have the time and they want to go back and listen to it at night or whatever. So is that one of the things that you all have seen? Have you seen an uptick in the lives, or have you seen more traffic coming from people that's not watching it live and re-watching it somewhere else?
I'll tell you from our perspective with the podcast thing, some of our podcasts before this, we were going an hour and a half, and it gets too long with people's lives. I think, in that commute home, people are generally looking at, 30, 35 minutes. So I think you have to kind of, it's a little tactical. I think you have to jump in, hit your hot points, make great banter discussion, and get out so people can live their lives. And I think that's what connects people, because these guys, you're going to the restroom, you're listening to a podcast, and these guys are dealing with their family, they're dealing with their kids, raising kids, and trying to go out and hunt at the same time, and they don't have an hour and a half, 2 hours to listen to that kind of commentary.
Yeah.
Right. No, we totally agree. We've revamped from when we first started as well, so we was doing a bit longer, and now we're down to, we try to do about 45 minutes.
I think we used to average about an hour, didn't we?
We used to average an hour.
Michael, what do you think? I think it seems to do better at that shorter time frame.
I think it does because, we can do, I don't know. It seems like when we were doing an hour, what's weird is Facebook would spit out these reel things that's already like pre-made so you can just throw them out there. And they wasn't doing that when we were doing over an hour or an hour. But now that we're doing under an hour, they seem to catch it more. Because, when it comes to short reels and things on YouTube, they say 15 to 30 seconds max on a short reel. You're going to get the most views from 15 seconds. So we try to do just little reels like that every now and then if we can catch them. But I think the 30 to 45 minute range is pretty good, because you got to think about people's attention span. I mean, this all came about when we were doing early child care development at our church, and we were accredited through the state of West Virginia, and we had went to a bunch of classes and got certifications for early child care development specialists, and they were talking about a kid's attention span is about their age. So you got a 5-year-old, he's got 5 minutes worth, and you're done after that. So I'm about to be 43. So
you got 43 minutes.
I got 43 minutes.
Yeah. What were we just talking about? I forget what we were just talking about. I was
31. I got about 31 seconds.
I'm not bad too. I'm not bad.
I think
the lesson comes.
I think it really all depends on what the topic is, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are certain things, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys got a mental health segment coming up on your podcast. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Kevin, Brian, and all of us, and I really, really, really want to get into this deep, because I think I hear a lot. We talked about mental health a little bit earlier, but I'm telling you what, I'm talking, men's mental health from the standpoint of living in quiet desperation, wanting to talk to a brother about just life issues and raising kids and being a dad and a husband in this modern world, and also things like losing people in your life and how to deal with that. Because we've I don't know why this is, but there's a stigma. We all understand that. It's this idea of, men can't cry, men can't be emotional, men can't be real. And I'll tell you what, I think the biggest thing that hits with our viewers and listeners on our podcast is we're just real. And I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm emotional, I cry. And I cried quite a bit when I saw that deer walk away from me, but that's a side story. I'm a real, I love my family. And so, I'm driving down the road right now with my kids in the car. They're both right here beside me listening. I've got my daughter who's 15, her first car. And I'm as proud as I'll get out as the dad of these kids. They have awesome hearts. And for me to be able to reach out, I know I'm going to speak for myself. I want Kevin and Brian to as well. But for me to reach out across the country or the world, perhaps, and talk to other dads in South Africa or New Zealand or Newfoundland, wherever I'm at, and we have the same stories, like all guys have the same stories. And that is, we love our families, we struggle with life, you work on your marriage, and just got to love on people. And I think that nerve that we're able to kind of stroke when we talk about these things in people connects us. And I think people go, holy cow, those guys are like me,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're more alike than people that you even know of. Like this topic really hits hard for me. I've struggled with depression and anxiety since I was 14. I'm still take medication, still see the doctor every 3 to 6 months, just to stay ahead of the game. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's like people are ashamed to admit they struggle. Yeah. I'll be the first one to tell you I was like that at first, but I'm not ashamed to admit I struggle. I'm not ashamed to admit I take medicine and go to the doctor. I mean, I never felt better in my life right now. And I just want people to know that there is help out there. Mm-hmm. There's more people willing to hear you talk than you think. Yeah. Like Absolutely. Anybody, 99% of people will stop what they're doing and listen if you have a problem.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I just want everyone to know that.
And
it's not really a masculinity thing, to be honest with you. I'll be honest, guys. When I talk to guys, if they're laying their heart on the line, they're telling you the truth about life, you are way more masculine in that setting, being vulnerable and being real, than you are bottling up. You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it has to do, like with what you're saying there, the masculinity part. Some guys put on the persona that they're the hardest they can be, and they don't, and that kind of turns people away that needs to talk. You know what I mean? I mean,
right.
Obviously, there's a time and a place for that kind of thing and that kind of presence that you have to put on, especially if you're in a public safety role, military role, law enforcement, whatever it is, or some role of authority. You have to have that persona when it comes to a certain person. But you have to let them know that they're not going to be able to overtake you. But there again, you have to break yourself down and still be able to show that you care for others and allow those emotions to strive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think we've all had that persona at some point, or we still do. I know I still do. Like, I'm all right. Like, I'll be fine. Like, but deep down, like, nah, not really. Mm-hmm. But you don't. It's a fine line. You know what I mean?
Well, and don't you guys all think, and this is just my personal perspective, but I felt it, guys. Don't you think that, like, as guys, because I've done this all the time, you wanna be strong for your family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You wanna take care of your family before you do yourself.
Definitely. Right. You don't want to show. That's the last people you want to show being upset to is your family. or like you don't have control over it, or your life in general. That's especially our kids. That's the last thing we want to do is break down in front of our kids. But you also want to teach them it's all right to show emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know this is
the balancing act.
Probably hard, and I know my dad's probably listening right now and watching, but when my brother passed away, that's the first time I ever seen my dad cry.
Sure.
I'm sure there were other times that Dad had situations in life that he had shed some tears over, but I never seen it.
Right.
And, that was one of his things that he said to me. He said, this shouldn't happen. I shouldn't be sitting here, and he should not be gone before me. So that was tough to hear that and see that, but it just made me know that I have to step up in other ways, So.
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And I think in modern society, for some reason, we're still, we're struggling with that. And I think, even in the outdoor space, we're a little bit, we grew up on the farms, we grew up rural. And the idea was, and I remember growing up, my dad used a belt. I mean, I made a bad choice. I knew it was coming. And while I tried to, what I'm saying? I mean, it was real. And sometimes it was real. But I think, there's a difference there, out of how do we form now the relationships with our children growing up? How do we discipline them to go, you know what? Hey, I did bad, but you know what, Dad, next time I'm going to do better and make those choices. That way their future is better than ours.
Yeah. I whooped my kids with a belt and with a hand, if I didn't have my belt off or didn't have time to get it off. But, I disciplined my kids that way, not to a point to where I was going to beat them, but they knew that they were going to get whooped if they'd done something they wasn't supposed to. And when I was younger, I knew that same thing. Like, man, I'm about to get my tail busted because I know that
You wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah. Mom's like, oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Wait till Dad gets home.
I knew it too, but I didn't learn.
It's funny. My wife still can't teach me.
She still whoops you, don't she?
Yeah. We won't talk about that, boys. We won't talk about that.
My bad. Hey, our bad.
But there was a point in my kid's life to where I got to a point to where I was like, I don't really want to whoop them no more. And I was like, and I told them, and this was in their preteen, like 11, 12, right when they were turning 13. I was like, listen, guys, we can start sitting down and talking about this, and we can talk about what you done wrong and what you should do, or I can continue to whoop you. It's up to you. And my son was like, I think I'd rather talk.
Yeah.
Option 2.
Yep.
But
I think the other thing mix in, and you mix this in now, and I haven't heard a news story about today, and that is, we talked about last time, but screen time, social media, the pressures on kids that we didn't have on us. And thank God, I hear this all the time from everybody in the outdoor industry, but I'm serious with us. Growing up in Killbrook, Ohio, thank God no one was running around with the phone taping all the stuff I did as a kid.
I know.
Me too.
Strip mines, four-wheelers, and snowmobiles, 9 miles an hour, all kinds of crazy stuff.
People videotape things today like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can get paid for one video, it takes to go viral one time. Everybody's filming everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you really gotta we do it. We limit our kids' screen time. Like, it's very limited. Yeah. Very limited.
When I had when I had a phone, terrible. I think I was in 7th grade when I first got my phone, and it was like was like a flip phone.
Yeah.
It didn't have you couldn't watch videos on it.
Uh-huh.
We would punch like numbers upside down like you do on a calculator to see boob or whatever. But, I mean that's about how it was.
Yeah. And then it took an hour to load. You're like, any day now.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just so fast. Everything is so fast these days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, life in general.
Well, now if you do is pull up the crossbow, brochure, you got whatever you want right in front of you, pretty much. So it's like, where's it going? How do you limit that? And quite honestly, from a dad's perspective, how do you moderate all that stuff? Because even as adults, we have to. You guys know what I'm saying? You have to moderate everything you do.
Yeah, that's
even
right.
being on the technology that we are now, you know?
Yeah. Everything needs to be in moderation for sure. So what else you guys got coming up?
We got some good episodes coming up. We've got, we're going to talk to a guy who went to New Zealand and shot an awesome red stag down there. He's a buddy of ours. That'll be fun coming up here tomorrow. We're going to talk about that. We've got some feeder companies coming on. We've got big shot targets coming on. And then we're going to do like some bullfrog bow fishing. Kevin and I will be down there. Hopefully Brian might make it, but my dad, Kevin and I are at least going to definitely go down to Maryland and do some bow fishing this weekend. And then next month I'll be hunting a water buffalo with our heel cut broadhead here in Ohio.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be awesome.
So, it's going to be heck of a
time.
time.
I can't wait to go bow fishing this weekend.
It's going to be a blast. I've never been, so I can't wait to get down there and try it out.
So
is there going to be a blooper reel?
There definitely will. The whole thing will be a blooper reel.
The whole thing will be a blooper reel.
We'll come out with no fish in 30 minutes of bloopers, bro.
Now you're going to have other ways to eat, right? You're not going to have to eat what you
some of them
get.
boys make that bow fishing out to be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like where to aim too, the refraction of the water and the light, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, I'll just aim right at the thing, right? Aim at the fish. No, you got to aim in front of it.
Nope, lower.
Yep, you
got to aim lower, underneath of it.
See, yeah. I've never bow fished, so I wouldn't know. So tell us a little bit about that for all of our listeners out there that haven't done it.
I'll let Kevin talk about that because I'm not an expert at all.
Me neither. I've been a couple of times, and that was for rays. We were just playing around out in the bay, seeing a bunch of rays, and just shot them.
That's a nice big target.
Yeah, right. That's you just aim around them things. I mean, gosh, they're so big. It's not like we're gonna be shooting snakeheads, slim snakeheads. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be challenging. Because the bow fishing bows, they're short. They're pretty short axle to axle, right?
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
So now
it's just like instinctive. Quick, instinctive shooting.
Is it like a field point on those, or is it like an expandable broadhead?
It's like a prong. It's like a prong.
It's like
a barb
point with barbs.
Okay.
Yep. The catch coming back. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a good buddy of mine's big into it back home, and then I got this guy I'm working with. He's pretty big into it. Me and him went down to Bass Pro and picked him up a brand new bow fishing rig set up, and I kind of fell in love with it. Me and him went out a few times. We didn't kill nothing because that refractional shot and everything, it screwed me up. It took some getting used to, and we only seen a few anyhow at the time.
And also for our listeners, let's say this so people don't get in trouble. If it's catch and release, don't bow fish.
That's a good point.
You can't release them.
You can release them, but they're going to float.
They're going to be floating.
Yeah. Fillet and release.
Yeah.
But that bow fishing rig he bought, man, that thing was sweet. So it glows in the dark.
I just sold one last week that was glowing in the dark.
The camo pattern on that is sweet. Like, I fell in love with it. I was like, man,
which one was it?
One. Yeah, I can't remember honestly.
Yeah, I just sold one last week that was a glow in the dark one.
You remember the brand on that one?
Oh, it's a Cajun Sucker Punch.
Yep, that was it. Cajun something. Yep.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up?
I think I know where Dan can get one of those with the discount code.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
I ain't said I bought it yet. I just fell in love with it. It was sweet, man. Because we had. I put my AR-15 tactical light on it for him.
Oh yeah,
that thing worked out good.
They have like Picatinny rails and everything on them.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dan's gonna have that thing decked out like Rambo.
Man.
Oh, you know it.
Yeah, he is.
I'm gonna do a little bit different. It's gonna be dynamite bow fishing.
Dynamite.
There you go.
Yeah. Like he blows up the building.
I'll be like old Bo and Luke Duke there. Come on.
Yeah.
No aiming required.
He's gonna
Don't worry about the refraction.
Yeah, he's gonna have a laser on it.
Yep. They sell them for them too. Honestly.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they do.
The game where we'll catch it, right? Because usually what we say in Ohio is all land's public land if you run fast enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That's awesome. Well, guys, it was great having you on this evening. I mean, this is the banner that we like, having everybody on, laughing, joking, cutting up, enjoying what we love to talk about, and that's the outdoors.
Didn't you have something more for Kevin?
Kevin. What do we want to talk about with Kevin?
I thought, I don't know. I'd have to open the dang talking points back up.
He was going to ask if there's anything new with Outdoor Pro Shop.
Oh, yeah, that was anything you want to tell us about Outdoor Pro Shop that's new?
So we did have something new that we just got, and it was a live scan fingerprint machine. Because we sell suppressors, so we do all the live scan fingerprinting in house for suppressors now.
Oh, that's awesome!
So,
nice.
Speaking on suppressors, then, are you doing like FFA or trusts and anything? NFA trusts?
Yeah. We can create a gun trust and everything.
All right, I'll be calling you.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
I've been looking at getting one because I've got 4 suppressors in mine. Right
there you go.
Now.
Nice.
So, but I want to do it in a trust instead, and because the more I've been reading about these trusts, it's not just for that. You can put all your guns, anything, and more than just guns. You can put all kinds of crap in this NFA trust.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That'd be something worth having an episode about if we can get somebody that knows more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome because I've done a little bit of research on it, and I still don't know everything about it because there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ins and outs about it. I mean, it's a legal document, right? We use an outside company to create the trust. So
okay,
nice.
We can reach out to them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Definitely. That'd be awesome.
Reach out to them. Let us know.
A double podcast again with you guys on and them on. We could all have it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, again, we thank you and we appreciate it. Josh,
we appreciate you guys again as always.
Yep, Josh, Brian, Kevin, thank you all. We sure appreciate it.
Always.
It was a great time.
Always.
You guys take care.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you very much.
You too.
All right, guys, be sure that you check us out on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcast. We're there. We have a bunch of different episodes that are getting ready to air. We had one air today. We got one airing tomorrow. And Dave was trying to show me something. I don't know what that was. Oh, yeah. Mention Podcast 10. That's for outdoor-proshop-.com. And you can go there and list
Glad it was that, not what he talked about showing you earlier.
Huh? Oh, God.
Dan, next time I see you,
Yeah, what?
I'm just going to make sure I see you before you see me. That's all I'm going to say.
That's I love the banter, guys. This is great stuff.
All right, guys.
Just remember to turn
This is
around
us, man.
every time
Hey, we're brothers over here,
Yeah.
man. This is it. Yeah.
This is it.
This is us.
All right,
Dave,
guys.
just remember, every time you get the chance, turn around, because I might be there. One of these times you turn around, I'll be there.
He said you better have somebody watching your 6. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah, take care.
Hey, thank you.
This episode of On the Limb with Nature's Voice Game Calls is brought to you by Bolt's Lawn Care Ltd. Company. Bolt's Lawn Care is a professional lawn care and landscaping business that's been in the business for over 20 years. Bolt's Lawn Care specializes in lawn care, landscape, drain work, and so much more. Call Bolt's Lawn Care Ltd. today for any and all of your outdoor needs. Bolt's Lawn Care offers free estimates. Give them a call today, 304-543-6565. That's Bolt's Lawn Care, 304-543-6565.